What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another stimulus update. So I want to provide you a quick little update on what we're hearing coming out from the Biden administration and what we are hearing coming out of the Senate as well. First, President Biden is expected to unveil his roughly $3 to $4 trillion infrastructure bill, or his Build Back Better plan. That is going to happen on this coming Wednesday on March 31st, and this will happen in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Now, what we are also hearing, which is a little more interesting, is some new stuff coming out of the Senate, which is still being discussed. But yes, the $1,400 stimulus checks are still coming out. Millions of Americans have already received them. It's according to reports, about 130 million Americans have already received their $1,400 stimulus checks. This means about 30 million more people have yet to receive them, and according to reports, these people should see their stimulus checks within the next 2 weeks. So that is the good news. I understand it is very frustrating if you have not received your $1,400 stimulus check, because at the end of this month, we have an eviction moratorium that will be expiring. We also know that a lot of the laws as far as the eviction moratorium and as far as shutting off water, power, utilities, there's some states that they're just weeks away from potentially being shut down, which means if you live in a home, even though you may not be evicted, you're going to get your water or electricity completely shut off, which obviously you can't live like that, and you eventually have to just move out. That's creating a big issue. But we are getting more answers from the IRS. It is just coming very slow. We are not getting much in terms of, is the Biden administration going to do another eviction moratorium? We have heard from the White House that yes, there is talks of that. However, it is not likely. What is likely, though, is the Biden administration is going to do an executive order on some type of gun control. So we will see what happens there. I will bring you updates on that as well, because I know a lot of you guys are really worried about what's going to happen. As a gun owner myself, I am worried as well. However, I'm not going to worry too much on that, because obviously that's kind of out of my control. But because President Biden's going to do what he wants to do. But yes, that is something that is currently being discussed. So just keep that in mind. I will keep you updated as we get more information there. Now, here's what we know from the IRS. Because the IRS has been very backed up, and they are trying to get caught up. The issue is they do not have enough people. They need more staff. And the issue is they don't have the funding. So what's the IRS doing? The IRS is telling the Biden administration and Congress, hey, if you want this child tax credit done on time by July 1st, and you want us to have the portal open by, let's say, June 1st, you need to provide us with more money. So they're kind of backing Congress into a corner. So essentially what it's going to look like is, if we want to see the child tax credits come out as a monthly payment starting in July, then this is the $300 for any children between 0 and 5, and $250 for any child between 6 and 17. That is per month. Now, what experts are currently saying is that we will most likely see this come out. Will be a little bit closer to August, possibly even September, when the first payment is rolled out, unless the IRS gets some additional help, and that's through additional funding. So, we also know states are behind on sending their unemployment benefits to roughly 19 million Americans. Not every single state is behind, but there are a handful of states that are. California is one of those states. Some states are saying that the unemployment will be delayed, and it will possibly be delayed maybe 1, 2, or even 4 weeks. Just keep that in mind. If you do have any unemployment income that is coming in, make sure you're getting all of it, because you might have to request an additional payment if the IRS somehow skips you. Or not the IRS, if your state somehow were to skip you. Okay? So just keep that in mind. And this has happened in the past, where when the new bill started, some people that were supposed to get their benefits were just going to roll over, and they can just start the new one. The issue is it didn't happen, and they actually had to go and reapply, and it created another host of issues. So just keep that in mind as well. Now, here's the big thing. Here's what we're getting more answers on. We are getting more proposals for additional relief. This is good, because many lawmakers are saying that there are still millions of Americans that are suffering. There are some Republicans out there that are saying the exact same thing, that we didn't provide the relief to the right people. People that didn't need a stimulus check received a stimulus check. People that don't need more unemployment benefits are getting unemployment benefits. They're saying there's a lot of issues right now with this bill. Some state and local governments don't need as much money as they currently are getting. So we will see. But what we are hearing, and this is a new one, this came out today, one thing that is being discussed is coming from Senator Bernie Sanders. He is pushing to change the Medicare age from 65 down to 55 or possibly 60. He just wants to expand the program to cover things like dental work, glasses, eye surgeries, as well as hearing aids. Bernie Sanders said, and he said this just a short time ago, and I quote, "The $1.9 trillion package was an enormous step forward on the immediate challenges facing the country, but that now we have to look at the structural long-term problems facing our people." And this is why we are currently getting reports of Medicare for all. But the issue is, some are saying if we can't get 10 Republicans on board, then the issue is we might not be able to get Medicare for all unless we do something with the filibuster or unless we obviously do another budget reconciliation. But according to many reports, President Biden doesn't want to do a budget reconciliation. He'd rather hold it and wait and use it for something else. So the goal is to get a bipartisan bill, but in all honesty, I don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. I don't know how this is going to happen, but we will see. All right? Now, what I can tell you is that if we can't get Medicare for all, which some are saying that it might be questionable, then Bernie Sanders wants to do something else where he wants to lower the age of Medicare from 65 to possibly 60 or 55. Well, that could work. But if that doesn't work, this is why they want to just provide more relief to seniors, because they say, when I say they, I'm talking about lawmakers, and mostly Democrat. There's a handful of Republicans that say the same thing, but yet not all of them do. Okay, and there's not 60 senators that currently want this, but they are saying that we need to provide more relief to seniors. That is a big priority. This also means that we need to pass another stimulus check of possibly $2,000 per month. We also need to work on increasing the minimum wage, but as we know, in the Senate, this is going to be impossible if we are going to require a budget reconciliation. If they were to do away with the filibuster, yes, we can get a $15 minimum wage. If they just change the rules completely and maybe not a talking filibuster, but maybe adjusting it to something else, right? Well, this is where things start to get very complicated. So I'm not going to bore you on those details, but we do know there's many people discussing what is the next step regarding the filibuster. Right now, the goal, okay? Let me just give you the goal that we are hearing from Democrats at this time. The goal is to get Republicans on board with whatever bill Democrats are going to propose. But here's the issue. It's going to be almost impossible if they're going to try to pass something for $3 to $4 trillion, which is going to include a handful of tax hikes. So the only way to pass a bill that's going to include a $15 minimum wage is going to be having it done through bipartisan support. But we know there's not going to be bipartisan support on a $15 minimum wage. It's just not going to happen, which means there's more issues. So Bernie Sanders even went on to state, and I quote, "We're talking about physical infrastructure, affordable housing. We're talking about transforming our energy system to deal with climate change. We're talking about human infrastructure. In the rescue plan, we were able to take a major step forward in lowering child poverty. Very important. Now I want to deal with issues facing seniors as well." Let me just take a step back. When Bernie Sanders says that in the rescue plan, the American Rescue Plan, we were able to take a major step forward in lowering child poverty, it did happen. It has already happened. Democrats have already, I'm going to say Democrats and Republicans, kind of everybody, Congress has done their job to lower the child poverty rate, which is great, but it's all been done through the $1,400 stimulus checks. What is even bigger is the child tax credit, which has yet to be implemented, and chances are at this point, it has a lot of issues. We might not see it. We might not even see it in 2021. There's still a possibility that doesn't happen. So just keep that in mind. As of right now, what we know is that yes, we are moving in the right direction, but we still need additional help. Bernie Sanders, he also said he's very concerned about what seniors are not able to get at this time. And he said, and I quote, Right now, what I want to focus on is the fact that there is an enormous crisis facing seniors who are unable to get dental care, the hearing aids, and optical care that they need. And this is what I've been saying for a while. Senior citizens usually require a little bit more, things like hearing aids, glasses, optical care, okay, dental care. They have maybe dentures, or they have to go in maybe a little bit more frequently. And this is something that a lot of people don't completely understand. And as a 33-year-old, I wouldn't have known all this stuff if I didn't actually do my research and figure this out and actually ask people. Ask people the hard questions. And that's what I have done to figure out why. And again, some of the stuff is just basic knowledge, and it's common sense, but why do senior citizens need more money? Well, a lot of their stuff is more expensive. For medication, I do not take any medication on a daily basis, or even a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly basis. I don't take any medication. Okay, maybe a vitamin, but that's about it. So for me, for medication, I'm going to spend $20 a month on medication, when a senior citizen for medication could spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars every single month. And yet a lot of people wonder, well, why do senior citizens need so much money? They kind of just stay home. Well, maybe, but it is fairly expensive. So this is what Bernie Sanders is saying. And Bernie Sanders obviously knows what he's talking about in this situation. He is, obviously an older gentleman, so he understands what it takes. And I think this is where there's a lot of people that don't side with lawmakers because they're just older. They're 70, 80 years old. And so they're like, well, why would we listen to what a lawmaker's saying when they have no idea what it's like in this day and age? That's true. But also people like myself, do we really know what it's like in, when you get older? No, we don't know that. We just don't know it yet. So what I can tell you right now is there is more relief coming. Those $1,400 stimulus checks, according to a few lawmakers, that is a step in the right direction, but we need to provide more. We know there is a proposal for $2,000 per month for stimulus checks to every single American. Again, I don't think that's going to pass. I think it pushes us in the right direction. It pushes us in the direction of, okay, we're going to get to some talks. We're going to negotiate this and try to come up with a better idea. However, what I can tell you is I do believe a fourth stimulus check is coming. I think it's going to come probably before this summer. Okay, so we're almost to April, so we're going to have April, May, let's say June. So within the next 3 months, I do believe we will see another stimulus check. As to how much it's going to be, I don't know. As to who it's going to go to, my guess is, based on all my research and looking at what experts are saying as well, I personally believe it is going to go to the lower income individuals. This can include senior citizens, as long as they are not a dependent on somebody else's tax return, and this will go to just any lower income individual. For example, let's say you make under $30,000 as an individual, or under $60,000 as a couple, you would most likely qualify. So that's what we're hearing right now. But like I said, there is going to be more relief. We know President Biden is working on his Build Back Better plan. We will have more updates on that next week, and I promise I will keep you updated on that as well. As we get more information as to what is coming out, what we are hearing, and what we could potentially get as the American people and as the voters, I promise I will fill you in on all those details. I just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.